Hi friends, and welcome to this video where I am going to be sharing my experience around how to cut down a nap or get rid of those naps, especially when they're like toddlers. I'm talking about when your kid is ready. So for me, I decided when he turned 3 that we wanted to cut down his nap in the middle of the day, because when he did have a nap, no matter what time it was, but then fairly enough it was getting to that afternoon time, that then he'd go to bed at like 10 o'clock, and that was crazy for me. Not only did I not get my own time, at least an hour or two, but also I go to bed early myself because I wake up early. I just like a lot of sleep, right? So basically that is me and that's our routine. But these are some ideas of what you can do with your kid basically to keep them from sleeping. Please make sure that you're doing it in a reliable way. And a disclaimer, I'm just a mum. I'm not a sleep trainer, psychologist in any way. Quickly, if you like what I do and if you like this video, please do give me a thumbs up. I'm Alina Ghost. I do loads of videos around like mum content, especially mum shorts. So I do daily ones of those and then 2 long form videos a week. So if you wanted to see any of those and wanted to join our mum community, please do hit that subscribe button. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So first things first, and like anything, you need to find a balance, especially at the beginning. Don't do it like cold turkey. In my opinion, that doesn't work. I like to cut down things gradually, and I do the same method for like dieting, you know, cutting down on like carbs and things like that. I don't go cold turkey. I literally do it stage by stage. So when it comes to napping, so have a think about doing it every other day at first. Maybe do it every few days to see how they would react, because sometimes you might think the kid is ready but the kid isn't actually ready. So have a think and like monitor your kids' behavior if they're cranky and stuff like that. But like, to give you any reassurance, I know somebody who cut down a nap for a toddler who was 1.5 years old because it wasn't fitting in with their lifestyle. She already had a child, so basically she wanted to make sure that like the whole routine and I guess that whole family lifestyle is fitted in. So basically it just depends. But what I'm saying is that you start every like few days to see how your child reacts to it. Are they cranky? If they are, potentially they might still need that nap, but maybe have a think about cutting down that nap. So maybe not making it so long. So for me, what we did is do it every other day, see what happens. And actually it didn't work out every other day. Sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't. So these tips that I'm giving you, you can try, but sometimes the kid is going to fall asleep whether you like it or not. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is stay away from things that you know your child falls asleep to. So for us, it's screen time is a massive factor. So whenever he goes on his iPad and he like gets super relaxed, he sort of got into that routine where he realizes that relaxing, watching iPad equals sleep time. So if you've got that association with something, or whether it's a toy, whether it's screen time, or another one is like car journeys, whether you like it or not, it's like the motion gets them to go to sleep. So make sure that you keep them away from those things if you are trying to cut them down from that nap. Obviously, I know the times that I should avoid for that nap. So if you know that they go to a nap for a certain time or a certain time of day, then try and stay away from those like factors and those things that make them fall asleep during those times. And the other thing I wanted to mention is like schedule your day around those times that you know. So for example, if it's the car journey that is absolutely going to put your child to sleep, which it does my child, I make sure to keep away from those like sleep times so that he doesn't go and nap during like our journey in the car, so that I do it either earlier so that he doesn't fall asleep, or I don't do those at all knowing that he is going to fall asleep right then and there. Maybe I wait another 2 hours so that he actually falls asleep in the car, and then I put him straight to bed at home. So those kinds of things, factor that in. Try and work your whole schedule around that if it's possible. So one of the tricks that my husband knows that I'm very good at is basically distracting him from thinking that he's tired. So this actually works before they realize they're tired. So for example, if I give my kid his iPad and he's like, oh mummy, I'm tired, and I'm like, oh no, you can't sleep, no nap time, that is a little bit too late. So it doesn't always work, basically, especially at the beginning. So you need to try and distract just before they get to that tired stage. So I would play his favorite cars, or I will tell him, oh, what about we do like a bath bomb in the bath? So that, like, things that I know that he likes, and make sure that we play them, and like playing and distraction and like getting them creative or doing something new really gets them thinking, and therefore doesn't get them so tired because they're not thinking about it. It's a difference in routine. So maybe have a think about doing an activity that you wouldn't usually do. So find something new and fun to do together, maybe get a new toy or board game or something. So this one is basically one I've used and is very much popular in this family, and that is give him sweets. I give my child sweets. Yes, I'm sorry, maybe I am a bad mum, but ultimately sugar works. It's like us. I don't quite give him caffeine, but like when I have a coffee, then I get all like chatty and I speak lots, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I've clearly had caffeine, so I'm like buzzing. But the same like things happen to my son as well with sugar, especially we like Haribos, Malwams, things like that really work. 1 or 2 is enough, but obviously it depends how much your child has sugar and how it affects them as well. So that's a really good idea, and it really works for us too. It's a simple thing where it's like, here you go, have some. And they're like, yeah, it's all exciting, maybe have some chocolate too. And basically it gets him like energetic and giving him a sugar rush, and therefore keeps him awake from that nap. Something to keep in mind though is that there's also a sugar crash. So make sure that you are thinking about whether like that time is coming and therefore they're going to fall asleep, so the nap is going to be later, or you can be like a little bit wiser and like drip feed them sweeties. And this is like extenuating circumstances. I don't prefer this method. I'd say this is probably one of the last methods I would use. But basically you would give them sweeties, then wait for it to kick in, then it's like half an hour in, you're like, oh, here's some more sweeties, you know, just keep that sugar rush going. It's a little bit like us, we always see a dip as well after sugar, like a sugar drop basically. So recently, now that my son is 3 years and 8 months old, I can bargain with him. And that's what I do. I'm like, oh, if you stay awake for another hour, I will give you an extra bath bomb. And he's super excited for that. We have lots of fun as well in the bath. But basically it's like about finding out what they want and will be happy to do in exchange for staying awake that extra bit. So like that extra hour, it's usually for us where he gets tired at 5 o'clock. So I'm like, okay, if we make another hour, he can actually sleep through the whole night. So basically it's also trial and error. Like the reason I know that is because for the past like 8 months, we've been trying to cut down on naps and things like that. So have a think about testing some things, see what works, what doesn't, and also be patient. It's not going to happen overnight, guys. So it's about transitioning to that and keeping your expectations quite low, because kids are unpredictable. So it's about just giving that a go. Which leads me on nicely to the last but not least point that I wanted to mention. I don't know if you noticed my dog actually moving in and out the room, so I do apologise for that. But basically, the last bit is experiment. So it is about the testing. Experiment what works for your child. What do they like? What kind of new things can you bring in to add activities instead of that nap to make it exciting and keep them interested? What kind of things work for your child? Is it sweeties? Is it chocolate? Like, is it fizzy drinks? Please be careful with fizzy drinks. It's like one of the big no-nos that we've got in our house. But basically, like, what works for your child might not work for somebody else. So it's about figuring out what will work for your child. And it's also age. So the older they get, the less likely they are to have a nap. So please be responsible. Again, some kids need more sleep than others, especially women. So girls, they say that scientifically speaking, girls sleep for longer. So have a think about what your child needs. And basically, if your child is anything like mine, it takes months and months and months to figure out how to cut down that nap. And also, basically, something that I just thought of is basically ask your family, friends, your preschool, your nursery, wherever your child goes throughout the whole week, to support you on this new routine that you're doing. So it's worth keeping up the communications, telling them what you're trying to do and how you're trying to do it, so that they can support you whilst they've got your child. But basically, I hope that these things really help you guys, and I wish you the best of luck. Take your time, be patient, and lower your expectations. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!